What's up guys, Chris here, back with a new video in the Ultimate Custom Glock 19 build video series. Today we're going to take a look at the magazine that I'm using for this build, and we're going to do some upgrade installations. So the base that we have for this is a Guarder Custom Glock 19 magazine with TM spec, and these are available in KJ specification and Tokyo Marui specification. I honestly cannot tell you exactly what the difference is. I think it's something like with maybe the valve position, the valve strength, if you will, and the gas wrap rubber and feed lips. Not entirely sure, but these are Tokyo Marui specification. And what we're going to do, let's see. Yeah, it is. Sorry. So what we're going to do is install a Guarder high flow magazine valve, high output valve, and a Tokyo Marui spec, Guarder Tokyo Marui spec gas wrap rubber. And the reason why we're changing the gas wrap rubber is if you look at the gas wrap rubber that's in the magazine right now, you can see that it has a flat top profile. However, if we look at the nozzle in the slide, it has a curved profile. And this new gas wrap rubber is curved, so it's going to match the nozzle profile a lot better. The third thing that I have on here are real Glock base plates. In case you're wondering, I get my real Glock parts from glockparts.com. Super good shop. They ship internationally, unless you're on some sort of exclusion list for whatever reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop out this pin right here that holds the feed lip in place. Pop that off, take out the gas wrap rubber, unscrew the valve with this valve key, and we're going to install these. So let's see, where is my punch? These don't have any specific direction. This is a different pin. I just want to show you. This one has knurling on one end, but the ones in this magazine does not. So you pop it out whichever direction you want. I will go for left to right. That's what I'm feeling like. Doesn't take a whole lot of force. Here you can see what I was talking about. There's no knurling on either end of that pin. Then you simply lift up the feed lips, take out the old gas wrap rubber. Let me show you here in comparison. So here's the original on the left side and the new one on the right side. Let's do it like this, and you can see. So you can see how that could impact performance. If the nozzle is curved but you have a flat rubber, you're going to get a bit worse seal. And the opposite, of course, if you have a curved rubber but a flat nozzle. So you'll have to take a look at what your magazines look like and what your nozzle look like. Actually, your nozzle determines which style of gas wrap rubber you want. So now here's the funny thing, or well, it's not funny really, but we're going to install the valve before we put the loading feed lips in place. For some reason, Guarder has decided to include a spare O-ring with these valves, which is nice. I like that. Very kind of them. I did notice on the first one I did was that there was some flash on the O-ring, so they're probably not super high quality. But here's the funny thing with this valve. It only has an opening on half of the valve. This is sort of a unique design. So it's open on one end, closed on the back. And what I found on Guarder's website is that you want to make sure when you install this that the opening is facing the top right here. So since we have the feed lips off, we can actually see inside the magazine there and make sure that the opening ends up in the right position. Let me just put some silicone oil on the valve and the O-rings before I install it. I'm not sure if this is like, if it goes in and the opening is at the bottom, if you need to like start it 180 degrees differently, or if it's just going to auto align. I'm a little bit concerned, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so right off the bat, we have a fail right here. I tightened it down to, the reasonable position and pressure, and the opening is to the bottom. So I'll have to back this out and see if I can, well actually, you know what? That's a bit strange. It seems that the back plate, the threads spin independently of the opening. So if you position this towards the top, put like a punch down there to hold the opening up, and then tighten the threads down, it should be, in the desired position. So that's pretty cool. Let's do that. So I'm putting a punch down the valve hole to make sure the opening stays towards the top. And let's go ahead and screw this in. Okay, so the opening in the valve actually starts twisting a little bit as I go in to tighten down the threads, but it's decently centered towards the top, so that's good. So then what we'll do is we'll pop the gas wrap rubber in the feed lips. This little cut on here for the pin goes towards the front. Just poke that in, like so. Slide it on, well actually, put it on top. And I went left to right to take the pin out, which means that it doesn't really matter, but I'll go right to left to put it back in. Okay, I got the pin back in. You just want to make sure that it's nice and flush on both ends, or at least not sticking out too much on either side. Valve in place, follower is nice and loose. So what we're going to do last here is take a look at the floor plate. As I mentioned, this is a real Glock floor plate. I'll put links in the description to exactly what it is and where you can find it. The only thing you have to do to make these fit on both the Guarder Custom magazines and the Stock Arms Glock magazines is you need to reduce the diameter of this pin sticking up here to retain it just a tiny bit. So we'll have the floor plate off, and what I do is I go in on this pin, the round part there at the top, and I use a rough file, like a nail file or whatever you have, and just shave down the diameter a little bit until it, to not have to pop the plate on and off all the time, I do like this. And when it can go in that way, it can go in the other way. So then you just pop that on. I like to put some pressure here at the bottom of the follower and align the edges, and voila, you have a real Glock base plate on your magazine. So that's it, guys, for the magazine. In the next video, I will be putting the three parts together, slide on the frame and the magazine in the frame, and it's gonna be a good video. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.